My name is Laura Padilla, and I'm the IT business partner at SIMED in Puerto Rico. SIMED is a professional liability insurance company, and we've been in this business for about 30 years. We're a local company and very small. We're just like around 40 employees with one office. So we insured doctors and hospitals for their professional liability malpractice. So that being said, we have to comply with what is known as HIPAA and other, security rules. So we handle a lot of personal identifiable information from our customers. And so when we started working with Innova, our first concern was actually our security. So what we did is we started with an assessment of all our configuration with Office 365, OneDrive, etc. So Innova helped us do this assessment and identify the areas where we needed to improve our security. So they came up with the recommendations, and then we worked with them in a project to implement those recommendations. So for example, we implemented our data loss protection rules for our emails, where we have, when certain types of information are identified in the email, they're automatically encrypted. For example, if there's a social security number or a credit card number or any of that sensitive information, then the rule automatically encrypts it. So, and that's one of the things that we needed to be able to comply, for example, with HIPAA when we transfer files that are confidential or sensitive. So that being said, well, we also worked with our advanced threat protection settings that I know that were mentioned before. So we have rules to detect when we have malicious attachments or malicious links. So the advanced threat protection goes through those and filters them out. And we have rules, to say what to do with those attachments or those links. And we also worked with the mobile device management that I know that was also mentioned in the previous presentation by implementing, installing Intune in our devices. So for example, we have corporate mobile devices that they can install Teams or Outlook or any of the Office 365 applications, but we require for them to have Intune installed so we can have some type of policies applied to those devices. So, for example, we have to require that they're encrypted, that they have passwords, that they have a second password when they're going to enter Teams or Outlook. And for example, a regular employee that has their own device cannot access. We don't allow them to access these applications from their devices. So we only allow corporate devices with Intune installed in them, so we can have that control, so we can do the remote swipes in case there's, they're stolen or misplaced. So that's how we control that part of our security. One of the projects that we worked with Innova was we were looking for a way to make our interactions with our vendors easier. So, for example, we interact with our agents, which are the ones that are selling our products, But we also have a team of law firms and lawyers that work with our claims. So a lot of the exchange with them, we have to exchange a lot of documents pertaining to claims, documents that are sensitive, and legal documents. And before, we were just using either emails or maybe sending them a OneDrive link that they had to download. And we ran into a lot of problems because it wasn't that simple. Or maybe they received an encrypted email and they weren't sure how to open it and decrypt it. So in doing this analysis, we came up with the idea to use Teams for that. So we've been working on that project for about a year, and it's finally in production, and it took us a while. And one of the hurdles was the customer itself, having to make that switch from working with the conventional tools like email or maybe even physical files to doing everything digitally and just using Teams for, all the exchange and communications. But we worked slowly, and Innova helped us even train all these users to use Teams, and it's been working great. And they also helped us come up with the right structure for the documents that we were going to exchange. So that was one successful project that we worked on this past year. And with the onset of the pandemic and the remote work, needless to say, we basically have adopted Teams through all the company. And I can say that it is right now it's the preferred method of communication between us. So it helped us transition basically seamlessly from the office to the remote work environment, because we have our meetings, we call each other, we chat, we exchange files, we collaborate. So it's made everything easier for us. That we already were working with Teams when this started. So that helped a lot. Now, also with the pandemic, we found that some of our processes have needed to change from being physical to going digital or automating some of those processes. So one of the projects that we worked with in Innova was a Power app for our indemnity checks. This was a process that was done at the office, and it was basically done in paper, where everything, so the adjuster would send the papers to the manager would look at them, sign them, send them over to accounting. So when we had to transition to the remote work, we started doing everything by emails. But doing it by email wasn't enough, because we didn't have a trail of what was going on, or we didn't have the approvals that we needed to have. So if an auditor came and wanted to check this process, we could show them, this was approved by this person, and then it was sent to the other person, and so on. So we started with a proof of concept and with using Power Apps, and we liked what we saw. So we worked with Nestor and someone others of Innova to implement this new project. So now we have an automated process for indemnity checks, which is working great. And with that project, and since we liked the outcome of it, now we're working on other second phase of the same project to do the same thing with other processes, to automate them using this tool. So our experience has been great with Innova. They've always been there to help us. They've been very responsible, and their expertise has been a key for the success of all these projects. They help us, from the requirements, from the brainstorming at the beginning, coming up with the concept, and then implementing it. So I'm really happy to have them as business partners. Thank you.